Can y'all thank you. Can y'all see this fine? Okay, cool. So I figure we'll start off with I'll just make a all right, so now we've got this new folder called test repo. I'll go ahead and hop over in here and we'll make a folder, or we'll make a file, and we'll call it, what did they call it? My first project. Okay. So yeah, here. But so we've got our my first project folder pulled up in VS Code. So then, okay. So then we can go ahead and make that readme.md. And feel free to unmute and ask questions at any point. So let's see what they want. Okay, yeah. So we'll do hashtag. Y'all will learn very fast that me and Josh are unable to type. So yeah, so we've got this set up exactly how they want it. So now we can, I use PowerShell. It's basically the same thing as Commander. It's a Windows 11 thing. So we've got this pulled up. I will do it in here. So we've got this, and we can go over to GitHub. We'll make our new repository. Y'all call it my first project. I've probably got 10 of those by now. So I'll call it C16 Git demo. Then we'll create that. And then they give you a list of commands right here. But also on GitHub, it gives you the commands that you need to run every time. So we can start, you can ignore this echo line. So just like pretend this isn't here. And you start with git init. So we'll say git init. And then it creates a empty repo. And then we'll say git add. And instead of saying readme.md, you'll want to put a period. And the period stands for all. So it's basically looking at everything in here and adding it so it knows what to push. So we run that. And then we'll say git commit -m and then quotes. And this is setting a commit message, which is basically tying all of your changes to a specific commit. And that way it doesn't make much sense when you're working by yourself, but when you're working in like a big team, you can kind of section off what everyone's pushing by their commit message. So we will push that. And then they don't go over this one in covalence, but after this just changes the name of the branch that you're creating, which, Josh, do we want them to even worry about that right now?
Yeah, just throw that in there. It just renames the default branch that it creates is called master. When you do this, you rename it to main.
Yeah. Or you can call it whatever you want, but main is kind of base.
Yeah.
Right, so we did that. Now we'll do git remote add origin. Then we'll copy this link, paste it in here, run that, and then it's just git push -u origin main. All right, so that pushes, and if we go over here and we refresh, now our README is on GitHub. And the whole point of GitHub is like pushing your files to this website so other people, like Josh, could go look at my GitHub right now and pull this, and he would have it on his computer. So yeah, do y'all
Yeah, and to even jump off that, like Garrett could add me as a collaborator on this repository, and we could start working together. I could be, you know, there's pushing, which is updating what's on GitHub, and there's pulling, which is getting the changes from GitHub. So Garrett pushes, updates the core repository on GitHub, and I pull those changes and get them on my computer. So then I don't have to have two files up where I'm clicking and dragging changes over. There's none of that. It's just updates. And it tells by the commit history what should be in a file. So if I have a commit over or before his, it'll take his commit and overwrite my stuff because it's the newest stuff, right? So that's kind of the idea behind Git. And a lot of this is overkill for just one person, but you'll need it in the workforce. And yeah, questions? Anybody? Questions?
So it's basically to like kind of like sync up the members of different teams and stuff, or different people on the same team, I should say.
Right.
And it's like a place to store your files somewhere other than just your computer.
Okay.
Yeah. A collaborative tool and cloud storage.
At the end of git push, the -u origin main, what is that exactly?
The -u says use my saved credentials. That's why when you hit push for the first time, it forces you to like open up your browser or paste in a token because it wants to authenticate you. So that's what the -u means. Origin is actually, if you remember in the last step, how you say git remote add origin, you're actually adding a remote location. So you're adding a remote repository. And so then on the next step, when you say git push origin, it's referencing that URL that you added. And then when you say main is the branch.
So if you called this something else, then you wouldn't say git push -u origin main. You would say whatever you called it.
Yep. And you can call it whatever you want. You could say
Yeah.
git branch -m poop, and then it'd be git push -u origin poop. For a crude example.
I had a question about the first time I tried to do this, it made me log in through Commander.
Yeah.
So I had to put in, you know, username and password. Now it stopped accepting passwords, I guess, on August. So I had to make a personal access token and then plug in the personal access token through the command line. How regularly will we be having to do that?
It depends on when the token expires.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you just have to redo that when the token expires? Because I
Yes.
saved the token as well in case it asks for it again. But does it just ask for it the next time that it expires and you have to make another one?
On Windows and on Mac, they both have like a keychain where they will save that. And GitHub, when you try and push on GitHub, it'll look to the keychain first. If it's not there or it's expired, then it will force you to do it again.
How do you see the token?
Developer settings. Yeah, on the left, developer settings.
Yeah, when you create a new one, it lets you decide like how long you want it to be before it resets. So you can do like a week, 30 days, 60 days. It doesn't show it here because I made this account before they started doing that, and I don't want to have to start dealing with it.
I went ahead and made mine for 90 days. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I really
I mean,
wouldn't.
mine never resets.
Yeah, for the stuff that we're doing here, just you can have a token that never expires. If it's on your personal computer, don't worry about it, you know. But
Okay.
if you're in a job, you know, you're not gonna be making the token anyway, probably. So
Right.
Yeah, there was a couple more things. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, let me do a password. I never had to do the token thing.
that's surprising. They fully took that out. I'm surprised you did the password.
I don't know. Maybe
Has something to do with the two-factor authentication. If you two-factored authentication, you have to have the token. If you didn't, you just use your password.
okay. That's probably why I hadn't set that up yet. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, do y'all have any other?
So in other words, you got lucky.
I got luckily stupid because I didn't set up the authentication. So
every time you start a project, this is the process you go through. And then when you want to update it, you just go back into the same three, which is git.add, git commit, and git push.
Yeah,
Garrett,
so-
yeah.
Okay.
Say I wanted to add that. I would just git add and then git commit -m, added some stuff, and then git push. And then if I, yeah, if I look at this, yeah, and it'll tell you, like it says this commit was 13 seconds ago. If you look right here, it shows you your commit message. So yeah.
Y'all ever use the VS Code function?
No, the VS Code stuff is good if you're just doing basic stuff, but once you start doing other stuff, like the more advanced stuff, it can't do everything, and I find it easier just to do everything from the command line.
Yeah, I learned command line, so I'm kind of stubborn and I'm stuck to it.
Yeah. Like you can do everything from the command line. There's no feature that isn't. It's all built for the command line. So
I will say not Microsoft, Minecraft really helped me out learning like command lines for like JavaScript and stuff. So
yeah.
Mine was actually Skyrim, learning the console commands on my
Yeah,
computer.
same. Mine was Skyrim and Fallout.
see, I never played Skyrim on PC. I always wanted to, but
Almost,
do y'all have,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No, Josh, talk about video games. Go ahead.
I don't want
We're recording.
Nope.
Do y'all have any other GitHub questions?
So the only time we need to add to GitHub is when we're doing like the labs, because I've been messing around with HTML today while watching the videos, and I haven't uploaded any of that to GitHub. Is that okay?
For the labs, you're required to, so we can go in and review them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to just like if you're just messing around with other stuff and you want to push it, you totally can.
Cool.
Like it's your GitHub.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Cool.
Should we already be working on the HTML classes?
If you're not there, once we end this, just hop in the co-working space so we can kind of bump you along, get you moving. Because I would like to start moving on HTML tomorrow.
So how much are we? How many of them are we trying to get through them tonight?
Which do you mean the getting?
HTML?
Yeah, no, not HTML tonight. Tomorrow. I just want to get started on HTML tomorrow morning. So I want to start HTML tomorrow.
So should we be doing them tonight?
No, and if you want to get ahead, you can, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go over some like VS Code tips, but the only one I can think of is autosave.
Yeah, we're not even at JavaScript yet, so like they don't care about the brackets and stuff. But
yeah, but you know how whenever you have only seen it like once or twice probably, but you know how whenever you type something in here, you have to go over and save it, and it's like super annoying. If you just check autosave, you don't have to do that. Like it automatically saves every time you get done typing.
didn't you set that up for me, Josh?
I don't know. It's just a checkbox. If you just click on it, it'll turn it on.
I just wasn't sure if you went ahead and did that while you were in there or not.
Yeah,
I think you did, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Yeah, I clicked it for somebody today. I think it was you. Yeah.
So I just turned it off, and if I type a bunch, it pops up that white circle right there, and that means that they're unsaved changes. So then I would have to manually go in and save. That goes away. If I turn on autosave, it just does it by itself.
If you guys can also see, and we'll stop here, that he has an integrated terminal in, and I think you guys probably already see this, but you do have an integrated terminal in VS Code that you can open. So that's usually how I do things is I open the project up from my main terminal, like Commander or terminal if you're on Mac. And then I open the terminal from here to keep it project specific, so I don't have to keep seeding everywhere in that main one.
Yeah.
Just some tips.
That section for like where you have to like set up Commander in like the VS Code settings, that's so you can use Commander in here.
Yeah, that took me a minute just to figure out how to set up too, by the way.
Yeah.
Garrett, is there an advantage of using PowerShell over Commander? Does it integrate better?
So I started using PowerShell because I upgraded to Windows 11 and I thought it looked better. I like the icon better than then commanders. So I don't think there's any. I think it's actually. Don't you lose some commands?
Yeah, you're gonna have a harder time in the course, William, because they're all doing Mac commands and they're gonna be different for PowerShell. But in terms of the
this
actual
PowerShell Windows 11 is Mac commands.
it has some of them. I found a few that it doesn't have. I don't know
Yeah.
what the difference is there. I didn't look into it. I switched back to Commander, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's up to you.
It's literally because I thought this little icon looked nicer.
That's helpful.
Aesthetics are important.
Mm-hmm. I worked hard getting this computer to look how I wanted it to.
Also, a question about like labs and projects we'll be doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and like do something to our GitHub accounts to like link them to the Innovate Birmingham stuff, or do we just do that on the actual repositories we would make for them?
Go to the portal and show them how we'll submit once we get there. The rule of thumb is that if it has drill, where all the labs, if a lab has drills at the end, we're not going to submit that.
Yeah, I think the first lab we submit is 99 lines, or no, it's kitchen sink.
It's the
No?
tic-tac-toe board, isn't it? CSS.
Yeah. So you'll get to this lab, you'll follow all these instructions. Once you complete it, you'll click submit for review. I'm on the admin thing, so I can't look at it. But you'll see a thing right here for like your if I remember correctly, it's for like your GitHub repo link, and you'll just paste that in. And then we can go and see that, and we can go to your repo and look at it, make sure it works.
So basically, we'll just paste the URL in a little box when we hit submit for review.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll cover that again once we get there. This will be a little while before we get to this, a couple days. All right. So again, if you have any questions about anything we went over here, pop in the co-working space. If you're feeling like you're going to need some help before 5 to get through the getting started section, go ahead and jump in now. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the morning. Okay.
I had one question. If Garrett's
no
still
more
here.
questions. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm still here.
Okay, so if we're still if I'm all the way through the intro or the getting started section, and I just need to start on how the web works with intro to the web development, can I just start on that now?
Yeah.
Or okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
I have a question too. I've been watching all the HTML tutorials today, and I believe I'm on the lecture right before where the HTML lab is. Do I need to do the HTML lab tonight, or should I wait for tomorrow to do that?
It's up to you. Go at your pace. If you feel like worn out and tired, you're a little bit ahead. So just, take that break. But I will say also, like, it's a hard thing to balance, but being a little bit ahead of the class, like the pace that we're setting, probably gives you a little bit of a buffer if you do get stuck on something. So, there is that too. So it's up to you though. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're in the co-working space. We're going to move back over. Come get some help if you need some help.
You're still recording.
Yeah, like the covalence, Josh.
What's up?
You saying? Where are you guys going to be located?
The co-working space.
Co-working space. Oh, is that in the? Is that in the?
Yeah, that spreadsheet with the web dev Zoom links.
Or is it the covalence or for Slack?
Technology, man.
It should be in Slack.